All right, Hastings, it's June, and we know that means Dairy Month, and I have a special guest with me. Welcome.
Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Rinda, and I'm currently serving as the 69th Princess K of the Milky Way.
Well, let's get started on some tasty treats. All right, first up, this is my favorite part of June because Princess K Rachel gets to take the lead. We're gonna start with some corny mac and cheese. So we've got a big spread in front of us. What are we gonna start with?
We're gonna start with our noodles, and this is just a quick and simple, easy dish. So just combine, stir, and put her in the oven.
Love it.
Quick and easy. Okay, so we're gonna start with 16 ounces of the elbow macaroni.
Okay.
And then we're gonna add our cream style corn.
So just one can, this is easy. I like this dump and go.
Very much dump and go. And then we're just gonna add our regular corn.
And I noticed you drained the water out of that too.
Yes, we did drain the water, but we will be adding some more water back in.
Got it. But we want pure water, not corn water.
Yes, pure water, not corn water. Then we're gonna add our 1 cup of water. We're just gonna dump it in. And then we have 16 ounces of shredded cheddar cheese, and we're just gonna dump that one in as well.
I knew we'd be getting to dairy because you are the dairy princess.
Absolutely,
so that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I see we've got butter as well.
We do. We have a whole stick of butter that we're just gonna dump in as well.
And it looks like you cubed it up so it'll melt easier?
Yes, cubed it up so that it'll melt easier in the oven.
Got it.
And then our last 2 ingredients is just some salt and pepper. So we're just gonna add both of those.
And then I'm guessing stir, stir, stir till it looks
And then
beautiful?
we're gonna stir up.
Gotcha. So obviously we just mentioned dairy princess. So how does someone become a dairy princess?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing is you have to have a love for dairy. And you have to either grow up on a dairy farm like I did, or be involved in the dairy industry in some way. So that might be working on somebody else's farm, showing dairy cattle, or really anything in between. But I started out growing up on my family's dairy farm, and then I got to be a local county dairy princess. And then from there, every May we have judging for the 10 finalist spots for Princess K. And I was chosen as one of the 10 finalists, and judging again right before the Minnesota State Fair, where I was chosen as Princess K.
Gotcha. So why does it have to happen around the state fair time for judging? Wouldn't it make sense? Like, that's a long time to wait between May and August to see if you won.
Right, it is a long time, but every year at the Minnesota State Fair, Princess K is crowned, and she and the other finalists get their head carved in a 90-pound block of butter.
Gotcha.
So the day that the state fair opened, I was up at the gates doing interviews and media, and then got to getting my head carved in the cooler. So I spent the first 2 days at the Minnesota State Fair getting my head carved, which was super fun and definitely a dream come true.
Well, I was gonna say, so basically you have the equivalent of 360 sticks of butter in your freezer right now at home?
Yes, I do.
So that's a lot. So I see why we're sacrificing just 1 stick for this recipe.
Yeah, we can do that.
So there's 2 types of butter. There's salted and unsalted, and for this one you pick salted. Does it matter, like with the butter sculptures, does it have to be salted or unsalted?
The butter sculptures are actually salted.
Okay.
And that's some kind of property that goes better with the carving that they request it that way. So
interesting.
Yes.
Must be a texture thing or something.
Maybe. Our 90-pound blocks of butter are salted. So now that we have it all mixed up, we're just gonna put it into our pan, and we have our oven preheated at 400 degrees. So we're just gonna dump this into our pan. So I'm just spreading it around in here, kind of moving the cubes of butter around so that they can melt down evenly in the oven.
And this is nice too, because you get a mac and cheese recipe where you don't have to cook the noodles ahead of time as well.
Right, exactly.
So like Rachel said, we've got a 400-degree oven. We're gonna pop this in for 30 minutes because I peeked at our recipe already. After 30 minutes, we're gonna stir it and then put it in for another 15. But Rachel, you've got an awesome side, but I'm gonna show you what we're gonna serve with it.
Perfect.
All right, we had to do a wardrobe change. These now are recipes I'm gonna share with you because when I heard what you were making, I thought the perfect thing to go with mac and cheese is some oven fried chicken. So hopefully you like it. But it's got a dairy spin that I think you're gonna like.
Perfect.
So we're gonna start by marinating our chicken. So we're gonna build the marinade. So in here I have a half a cup of sour cream. Ooh, dairy.
Yes, sour cream is one of my favorites.
Oh, really?
Yes,
So how do you prefer to eat sour cream?
Ooh, whether it's on my tacos or anywhere
Anything?
in between.
Anything?
You just load her on.
And then to that, we're gonna add a quarter cup, see now I'm thinking about sour cream, a quarter cup of white wine vinegar and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. And now we're gonna take all these liquid ingredients and bring them together. So with all this dairy business, can you we've had dairy in both our recipes, can you have too much dairy?
Ooh, I don't think there's ever enough dairy. All dairy products are jam-packed with 13 essential nutrients that we all need. And everybody needs 3 servings of dairy every day, so
We'll just bust it out in this meal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's perfect.
So then we're gonna take 2 teaspoons of ground mustard and 2 teaspoons of celery salt, 1 teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of pepper. And then we're just gonna whisk them all together. And that's it for our marinade. So this is actually a 3-hour marinade. So through the magic of TV, we're gonna pop off the screen for a second and we're gonna appear back here with marinated chicken. So like I said, we've got some magic going on and we have just some parchment paper under it, and then I actually have a wire cooking rack so the air can get all the way around the chicken. And then I have some breadcrumbs that I just bought at the grocery store, but you'll be pleased, Rachel. They have Parmesan cheese also mixed in. So I've had my chicken marinating for 3 hours. You can do 3 to 4 hours. And I forgot to say, this marinade also works for fish. So if you want to use it with fish, then you only need to marinate it for 30 minutes. But all I'm gonna do is I'm going to nestle it into my breadcrumbs and just coat it. And then I'm going to take it over to my tray. And so I'm just gonna do that with all 6 of my chicken breasts. So you said you got involved with Princess K because you lived and grew up on a farm. So what's your family's farm like?
Ooh. Yes, so I grew up on my family's farm in Lee Seward County, Montgomery, Minnesota to be exact.
So how far is that from Hastings?
Ooh, that is about an hour exactly from Hastings.
All right.
So not that far of a drive,
Yeah.
but grew up with my mom and dad and my 3 brothers on the farm. We milk 40 cows. And so when I was little, before I could even walk, my parents would bring me out to the barn in the stroller and I'd sit there and watch them milk together.
Oh, wow.
So I've been out in the barn ever since. And once I started to walk, I started feeding calves with my mom. So
on your farm, is it just milking cows every day, or where does their food come from? Do you grow crops for them? How does that all work?
So yes, we do have more than just our dairy cows on my farm. We also grow all of the food for our cows.
Very cool.
So my family runs about 500 acres of corn, soybeans, wheat, and alfalfa, which all gets fed back to our cows.
Gotcha. So it sounds like there's a lot going on at all times when it comes
Absolutely
to being
there
on
is.
your farm. So while we've been visiting, I finished breading all of our chicken breasts. We have a big healthy pan of them. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven, and the nice thing is this cooks at 400 degrees as well, just like your mac and cheese. So we'll toss it in together and they'll be done at about the same time. And I've got a fun twist on coleslaw for you next. All right, so I said we had a twist on coleslaw. So most coleslaws have mayonnaise in them, but we're gonna swap it out and use Greek yogurt. So we're gonna start with 2/3 of a cup of Greek yogurt. And then for those of you tracking at home, we have 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And the reason I'm telling you that now is I have a question that I wanted to ask Rachel. So Rachel, my question is, okay, so you said the state fair was one of the things you got to do. What else do you get to do being Princess K of the Milky Way?
Yeah. So far I've done a lot of community events and classroom visits. So one of my favorites was the Mounds View Police Foundation had a father-daughter dance. So I was able to take my dad with me, and I was able to meet and greet with all of the girls as they came in with their dads, and then we spent the night on the dance floor. So that was one of my favorites.
Gotcha. Then to that as well, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard and 1 teaspoon of celery salt. All right, so we have our dressing all mixed up. So what we're gonna do is, normally I like to buy a head of cabbage, but you never know what you're gonna find in the grocery store these days. And so cabbage was sold out at every grocery store in Hastings. So I took a cheat and I got pre-shredded cabbage for us. And to that, I'm going to add, and this is 10 ounces in here, I'm gonna add 1 cup of shredded carrots that I already shredded. And just for kind of an extra zing to go with that Greek yogurt in there, this is a half a cup of sunflower seeds. So, and then all I'm gonna do is mix in my dressing and stir to combine it, and that is a really easy coleslaw. So if somebody wants to be a dairy princess, like I know you said you have to live or work on a farm, is it like an all ages thing? Is there any kind of things beyond living or working on a farm that people should know if they're interested?
Yeah, so for county level, it really kind of depends on which county you're from. My county began the program in 5th grade, where others begin when you're a senior in high school. So that's when you can officially run to be a dairy princess. So once you're 18, then you're able to run with that, either growing up on a dairy farm, working on a dairy farm, or having some kind of connection.
Does Princess K have like a website or anything where people can find out what you're up to?
Yes. So if you would like to request me as Princess K, you can go to the Midwest Dairy website, and under the Dairy Leaders tab, you can find the Princess program, and from there click on Minnesota and the Princess K program, and then you are able to do a quick little survey of what you would like, and then we can get it on the calendar.
Another round of visiting and another dish is done. So we have a full meal. So let's plate it all up and see what we've made together.
Sounds good.
So we've got a whole feast for ourselves thanks to our June Dairy Month. So we have our corny mac and cheese, we have our sour cream marinated chicken, and we have our Greek yogurt coleslaw. So does this meet your standards for all the dairy?
Absolutely it does.
Because I think you said 3 servings, right?
Yes, 3 servings.
And we've got butter and cheese, sour cream, and Greek yogurt. So I think we did pretty okay for you.
You did great.
So remember, Hastings, the apron's optional.
But the flavor isn't.
And dairy isn't either in this one.